Hello everyone, this is Flockcat, and welcome back to a very interesting video, where today we look at pretty much GP Reed's interview with Happy and his workers, which I'm definitely going to use that term now because holy crap. Admittedly, I wasn't expecting to do a second video today after I got done kicking my brother's butt in frickin' Star Fox. But this is actually a very important video to discuss because let's just say it's probably, if not the most exciting video to look into today, but definitely one that actually brings up a lot of interesting stuff. And there's even a very big plot twist at the end of this video. In fact, I will actually recommend you guys go on ahead, go into the description, and actually watch the interview video, which I'll explain in a bit, first before watching this video, because I am going to spoil the ending of that video, because that ending blew my mind a lot, which really kind of shows how interesting this story has been. And of course, there's other reasons why I have to tackle this video, and that is literally just the fact of, a lot of things in there. Also, I will be tackling a previous video as well, which I didn't even get to do, but to be honest, there's nothing too major other than the ending bit of that video, which we'll talk about. And there are two shorts that are in there, but mostly they're just codes, and unfortunately I wasn't able to crack them down. But I bet there's a lot of intrigue with that as well. But for this video, we'll just focus on two major videos that happened. And I'll start off with the major video that just been released today, which was the interview with GP Reed interviewed Happy, his boss, and his co-worker, which I am going to still use those terms now. I know they have official names, but I figure it'll be easy on us to do that. Especially since now I can definitely kind of see a lot of things, okay? So anyways, for those who do not know, 2 weeks ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago, but I forgot how long it was, but a couple days ago or weeks ago, GP Reed asked us in his Discord to give him some interview questions for Happy. And there was a lot of other interesting interview questions that people post, some that are very interesting to say the least, and we'll get into that in a bit. But for the most part, it was very interesting, and I honestly, decided to place my question, how they felt about my series on tackling them. Let's just say we got some very interesting results. And one in particular generally shocks me. But anyways, I want to go ahead and showcase these results because they're kind of pretty funny, but also one of them is very intriguing.
Okay, moving on. So how do you feel about Flockcat's coverage of your series?
I think he's doing a great job keeping up. A lot of the less obvious concepts are being noticed by Flockcat and the others. I also think what he is doing is dangerous. Flockcat needs to stick to the program and stop questioning what Naomi is doing here. The focus is on the human capacity to feel empathy, and also on finding the killer before he kills the service units, or myself. Don't lose sight of the goal among the smaller, more background details.
Alright, my next question is, who is Frida to you? How do you feel about Flockcat and the others' coverage of your series, or your whatever it is?
They are doing a good job. I prefer some people's work more than others. I'm tired of everyone assuming I'm the killer for whatever reason. What motives would I have? If anything, Happy has more serious motives as to why he would want to do something like this. He blacks out sometimes, and has been known to get violent when he does so. Doesn't that sound a bit sus to you? I mean, I don't know how he could have killed some of them when he was at the studio when some of the killings around town happened and all that. I mean, I saw him myself. Maybe he has an accomplice? Could there be two smiley-faced killers? I don't know. I say they need to focus a bit more on everyone mentioned up to this point. Aside from that, they are doing fine. I hope they figure this all out soon. or the police do, or whatever.
Alright, well, you may go. Please tell 957 to switch out. What do you think of Floxcat and the others' coverage of High Five Friends?
When it comes to the lore and functions of the Naomi Project itself, they are doing a fine job. When it comes to solving the murders, well, they have no idea what they're doing. That's okay though. I'm on this case now, and I don't plan on failing. I'll figure this out and get the appropriate measures in line. I'm not as careless as 532 or the others. I have a direct line to... Well, I have things in place, like I said.
Well, I would press you about who you have a direct line to, but you're not.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta talk about all that. Okay, well, first of all, thank them. I will personally thank them all for answering my questions. Also, I do wonder what other series are covering GP Read stuff, because I actually would want to see those other series, by the way, too, because maybe they'll help out with me if I can see their series and, you know, make a shout out towards them. But yeah. Okay. At least they're honest with their answers. Because understandable, but there's a lot to impact with that. And again, I did not even expect that. In fact, I'm actually pretty glad that I even asked that question, because holy crap, I did not expect a whole buttload of stuff to happen with that. And there's even more questions, I know that, including one that's kind of funny, to say the least, or a comment that's kind of funny, which I'll get into that in a bit. But okay, so to kind of go in order, first off, when Happy was answering that, he basically did warn me and other people about Naomi and saying I should stick to the program and not look into this stuff more clearly, and saying about how this will kill off the units, which I'm betting he's referring to all the robots and stuff he's talking about, you know, the whole robot thing, majig. I don't think I can for multiple reasons, to say the least. For one, there's a fucking Naomi cat. There's no way in hell no one can explain that. And even then, just a side note, nothing about the explanation, just kind of saying something, as many people can figured, Naomi cat is acting way more stranger than I bet Naomi themselves are realizing, because it's not acting like their plans, just saying, it's actually having regret. And even then, why would I not investigate them when they put a fucking radio, whatever tower it is, in the green dimension? You can't joke that, because for those who haven't catch up yet, they have confirmed, and I do have video of it, but they have confirmed to put a tower near me. And this whole tower business is interesting, to say the least, but there's no indication of what these true indication other than, I guess, they're something important. I forgot what it was, but I do know they're important. And for some reason, they built a freaking tower in the green dimension, which is insane. But then again, knowing how Naomi's acting is stuff. But I do hear Happy's warning. I do thank him for that warning, but I'm going to be fine. I'm just going to have to figure out what's next, because we all know I'm going to cross this line. So there's no way in hell that this, you know, freaking cat is going to not go through there. But the middle one is actually where I want to focus the most attention of. Because, again, I'm not going to show everything of this video. I highly recommend you all go watch it, because it does release some few things. But as you guys saw, the freaking boss threw Happy under the freaking bus. Which is kind of hypocritical, because to quickly explain something, there is even promotional video of him trying to help out Happy, for F's sake. But yet he throws Happy under the bus like that. That's a little bit insanely hypocritical. But I'm not surprised, because as you can probably tell if you've seen most of the video of his mannerism, especially for a crazy, odd laugh. I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to even kind of show it. But it is kind of interesting. It mostly sounds like and this is not coming rude off of him, but sounds more like a douche. I'm just saying. And it's weird too, because, like, part of it I get, because it's understandable, because, again, believe it or not, even though I will admit I don't necessarily trust him. But I will admit, I don't see him as much as the killer. I see him as a different thing. I think seeing him, especially now after this interview, you can tell he's milking this for all it's worth. He just seems to be an annoying client. But it's odd to say the least because he's throwing Happy underneath the bus. Which is unfortunate because even then, technically, if Happy did do all these murders, it's not fully his fault. I mean, on the stand of court, it'll probably be trialed as freaking proven guilt, reason of sanity. I'm not saying it correctly, but you know what I'm talking about. Because, be fair, he is mentally unstable, but it's not fully his fault because he's going through this whole thing with Naomi, and his mind is getting messed up with anything, and he's probably suffering through God knows what's going on with the angel and demon thing. But it's kind of funny that he did that. It's really odd. Like, it's not too surprising because obviously he's playing as in the cliche of all kinds of bosses trying to save their own skin. But that's kind of fucked up because one thing you may notice is, yes, they're all in the same room while G.P. Reed is interviewing them. And not like saying in G.P. Reed's own investigation office thing. No, we're talking about inside the portal because, as you might guess, G.P. Reed used his portal to interview them. This has happened before even outside of this series because whenever he's interviewing a character in a ARG, he will always use a portal just to say something, just to make note of that. They're all in that same room. So, that's kind of shocking because who knows if Happy may have heard of it. That's just plain fucked up, I'm gonna say. But, yeah. And as for the final one, yeah, I am kind of having mixed with his, like, I get his answer. And trust me, he's more right than you think because I'm just trying to follow the context clues. I don't even know who really the murderer is at this point. All we do know is, you know, right now, freaking Happy's sister is in danger right now, and God knows who the killer is. And is, you know, the only connection I can make is the fact that there is a real life killer known as the Smiley Face Killer, but even then, you know, that's just all mythos, and really, if you look it up, you will understand where I'm going with that. But still, I'm just looking up at anything. But it's interesting because even he has his own sins here, because you can tell he's just doing this just to be into the murder cases. Still, that's not good on his part. And the point being, as you guys can kind of tell, all these, with the exception of Happy, but even Happy has his own problems. Literally, all of them are paying themselves guilty without not even realizing it, which is a big problem, just to say. Again, I'm not taking, if it really isn't them, that also would be a big surprise to me, because at this point, we all know the true culprit behind all this has to be Naomi in some way, because we all know at this point, Naomi can't be fucking trusted at this point. And that's mostly it. There is some couple other things I do want to point out. The first major thing is they do talk about Tiffany and get into that relationship with Happy with that. Happy, I kind of doze off on that, but it does seem like Happy has a strong relationship with his sister, and it's very interesting. As for the boss, like I said, he kind of just showed off he is an ultimate douche, because really he's up to the higher-ups. What's interesting, though, is he is willing to double down on this. He is willing to defend the higher-ups, which we all know is possibly Naomi, so that way he can keep his position. That's very interesting. And the most interesting part about this interview, that doubles down on the fact that he's literally being a freaking hypocrite, and we kind of also see his side of the deal. He's basically trying to make, according to him, once this whole situation is over, he's going to make a freaking series out of this. Which is kind of yikes. To put some context for those who don't understand that, if you even saw that video, yeah, it's kind of fucked up because, first of all, that stain came recently, so that's really offensive. But also, it's just literally just out of the context of the ARG, it's just symbolism of the fact how people in the business would do that. I mean, seriously, there's like a controversy a couple of months ago involving a Netflix series talking about a killer. I'm not going to go into details, but they use a couple of the they use, let's just say they say some things that was literally out of a consent of a family, and the family were pissed off for understandable reasons. I know I butchered that. I'm sorry I butchered that, but literally look it up and you understand what I'm talking about. But still, that's literally what the symbolism is, and it really is fucked up. It really is. But it's also not surprising, because at this point, we can definitely tell the freaking boss really does not care about Happy's feelings that much. He only sees him as a stepping stone to his own success. And as for the other guy, again, nothing too much other than he just showed that he really isn't into crime in a very, seemed like unhealthy manner. Not in a bad way, but you can tell there was some vanity with his answer. Not very bad, but he wasn't trying to be rude, but you can tell has love for this freaking thing, like lust or vanity, and holy crap. But there is one more interesting thing before I get into the big reveal of this video, because there is a huge, giant, big reveal of this. But we get into something rather odd. And I will just say this to clarify something. First of all and foremost, I never, well, honestly, and of course, honestly, I just need to clarify this, because honestly, you know, and everyone honestly believes me when I say this, I never said the critters, those freaking hand bug things, were the killers. I never said that. I just said that they're obviously a representation of either flies, maggots, which are technically worms of flies, freaking cockroaches. I was just referring to them as dead bug things, because that's what there were. I never said anything that they were possibly killer, because apparently, according to this video, through GP Reed himself, because we all know this is his ARG, apparently a lot of you guys think the bugs did it. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that the bugs are part of this story at all. In fact, we did get a unique talk about them, but I kind of did skip over them until there are some importance. I will keep that in mind, but I skipped over it, because in the end of the day, they're just it's just symbolism, and just the fact that, you know, GP Reed, like, in all honesty, jumping out of the ARG, the reason why GP Reed did that is because we all know freaking, you know, we can't have a whole lot of blood and gore type stuff, and I guess putting maggots in with blood is going to be if. That's my theory on why he's using hands. Of course, there are symbolism with that, but let's be honest, it's just so that way they don't get into too much trouble with going to rated M. That's literally it. And as for them thinking that they're the killers, until it's proven, I'm going to say no, because for multiple reasons. The biggest being the fact that they're just bugs. Yes, they are seen to be dangerous, and there is a key note that the person does to clarify there is some parasitic stuff, but according to even the person, that parasitic stuff only happens when the victim is truly dead. At least that's what I caught. So either way, I don't think the bugs are killer. I know people, I want to clarify, I know people did not say this, but I want to just double down so there isn't confusion. I never said that the bugs were the killers. I was just making a note that they're basically based off of bugs that are seen after a decaying body, because, you know, they eat the fucking body. That's not rocket science. And that's what is going on. There are more symbolism with that, but that's the whole thing and stuff. And I don't even know. Like, I'm not trying to get in for that. I'm just shocked that people thought that the bugs could do it. Like, even the guy says, sure, they can get big at to 4 inches or 4 feet. I don't remember how he said that. But even then, yes, they are dangerous, but I don't think. Until there actually is a point where they are. But I don't really know. I don't really buy it. I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to laugh off any theories. I'm just trying to clarify some things just in case that theory stems on me talking about that enough. If it ends up being right, then you're right. I don't know. I guess we could just put the bugs as suspects as well. I don't fucking know. But there is one more big thing that really, really shocked me, and it's the sole reason why I literally decided to go ahead and do this video already, because holy crap, this is a very, very huge reveal.
You or the others. I have a direct line to... Well, I have things in place, like I said.
Well, I would press you about who you have a direct line to, but you're not going to answer that, are you?
You catch on quick.
I just know your type.
I bet you do, Blanco.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed this.
Yeah, just to clarify, he did say fucking Blanco, and for those who are unfamiliar to that, that is the Spanish word for white, and also he's also referring to the fact that Grant, or possibly GP Reed, or whatever character Grant is playing right now, turns out GP Reed was at least one of the Naomi whites, because at this point the whole color of Naomi thing is confusing. But that is a big reveal. But it's also not too big. For those who are confused, GP Reed as the character or the company or whatever, in the story, during the middle section of the story, during the first official act, as I like to put it, Grant did later on start working with Naomi at first glance, although it's unknown what that is. I don't even know what happened with those characters as well, like Phoenix and others, but that did happen, and we did see him do some crazy stuff with that. But it's also worth noting that there was someone known as Blanco, which is, of course, again, colors of white. And for those who are still confused, Naomi names their ranked members colors for some reason, and other things colors as well. And there was a reason why GP Reed did that, and it was possible so he can search for Crest or something other related. Again, if you need more information, just watch the playlist. I have it all in there, but it is true that he did work with them. Pretty much a very interesting plot twist, because I didn't know his rank was up to Blanca. Because that would explain kind of a lot what happened towards that. Because as we saw during that stuff, Blanca went for some crap, even to the point where it literally confirms that they probably went through some sort of jigsaw thing. I mean, they say it didn't, but I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of what it is, kind of interesting to say the least. But what's also interesting is what you saw. He put the shush mouth, and then instead of thanking his guests for showing up, he just deletes the portal. So there is a lot of interesting stuff going on with that. Am I saying that GP Reed is possibly secretly still working with Naomi? Of course not. Like, literally. I really don't think he is. I think he's now officially out due to what happened during that time point. Just to say. And if he does again, okay, oh boy. But whatever. Anyhow, yeah, again, there was nothing too major about the videos other than that big plot twist, but we did get some more details of the lore, and again, I didn't cover anything. I didn't even cover the fact that apparently those color entries are also from Happy's own diary thing. I don't know about all that, but that's still what happened. But again, if you want to watch the full thing, I know I miss a lot, and I'll probably in the next video I'll get into that. But for the most part, that's pretty much what this whole interview about. I highly recommend it because it's both funny and very interesting. There's a lot of interesting stuff that happens. However, we're not done yet because there is one more major thing, and it's just something that I need to point out that's important. So for those who may figure it out, Happy's voice did in fact change from a more light, bubbly kind of monotone voice to literally sound like a freaking robot, which is not surprising. The reason why is because according to an interesting episode that is known as episode 5.5, he needed to get surgery for that voice for some reason. Who knows? But apparently there's some interesting stuff, and then one of the mothers of Naomi, which I think there were multiple if I recall, came in. There's nothing too much about it. It's just what you expect. But there was, in fact, one major thing that many people may have missed, and it was towards the ending as well.
Everything's fine.
silly.
She needs maintenance soon, or she will start to suffer complications.
I'll tell her when I see her again.
I did see unlovable Unite 1 this morning.
What? You did? Was Jared with her?
I didn't see anyone with her.
Figures. I hate how she treats companions.
You know that glue only does what's best for the greater good.
Mother Kay, what brings you here?
I have a broken indigo that needs your attention.
I see.
I would like to hand deliver her file to you. I have it here.
Oh my. This is...
It is. Handle it with care.
Yeah, that's right. Now, I will admit, I totally forgot about what Indigo was. I'm not gonna lie. But I do believe Indigo was either one of the more bigger machineries involving the Naomi thing. And I do remember there possibly was that Naomi there introduced. Or it could have been one of the Naomis that run away. Because we do know there were, during the end of the first act, one of the Naomis did run away. I only remember it was something involving with the green, one of the green Naomis, but I don't know. But it seems like either way of both situation, it seems like they found the Indigo in very bad condition of where the heck it was. And now the Indigo is now going to have to go through some maintenance, whatever that is. So it's definitely very interesting. Again, there's a lot going on, but the main point is, to clarify, is very much interesting stuff has been going on. Now we know, at least the things that we now know is GP Reed, up to the point before he was kicked out of Naomi, was literally up to the color rank and possibly Blanca, as it was seen. And he doesn't want to talk about it for multiple reasons. Pretty much all three co-workers of this whole High Five Friends are not friends, because, oh my gosh, Happy definitely knows something's up, and I am going to kind of keep, I do hear his warning, but I'm not going to truly, I'm not going to truly embrace it. I'm still going to investigate as much as I can, but yeah, I already get his warning. I thank him for that. Basically, his boss is a giant dick douche, because holy crap, he thrown him under the bus. And of course, we know he's trying to hide some stuff from the higher ups. And for the murder guy, I still have his suspicions for multiple reasons. The biggest being that he has the gloves. I know that's bizarre, but at this point, I honestly, again, I don't know. He's now 50-50, but I think he's just getting into this way too much. And yeah, apparently people think Bugs did it. I have no idea how to say about that. But yeah, there's a lot of things. And again, I always say this at the end, but I do need to clarify. This series is kind of long, to say the least. But according to GP Reed at the end of that video, yeah, pretty much, yeah. Yeah, there is going to be more episodes. I'll keep my eye for it. Especially now, since unfortunately I can no longer truly upload a bunch. I mean, I can, but trust me, I'm going to try to start getting back of uploading videos, but do expect some delays, and they're probably going to be a permanent hiatus of the original stuff I was uploading on a daily basis. I'm just saying that because stuff is going on with that, but I do expect to upload more video game videos as well. But since I got more free time now after that, I might as well get back into looking into things and stuff. But yeah, pretty much, I have no idea what to say. I generally love it, but again, to make it clear, I have heard this message. Obviously, I was there. And again, I am going to keep looking into it, especially since, unfortunately, most people seem to... Again, no offense to them. I'm just confused on how they think Bugs could done it. Because I was just describing the Bugs as cockroaches and stuff. I don't know. No offense to them at all. I think it's just funny, that's all. And if it ends up being right, then I guess they're right, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, This has been Floxcat. I'm snapping out of here. Bye-bye.
Don't you want devoted followers who leave their families for you, give their money to you, give their bodies to you, give up their lives for you, consider you God, and will kill for you? Don't you want to become a cult leader? Since the death of God, there's been a vacancy open.